Bray Wyatt was briefly back in the news when Dave Meltzer hinted that he knew the real reason for Wyatt's WWE release last year, and it was not because he wasn't drawing, but any thoughts on why he was released?
Well, I don't think he was drawing that well, to tell you the truth, because this is what I never understood about Bray Wyatt or the family. They didn't really cheat to win. They just beat you up. So where is the heat in that? If you beat somebody up and you just beat him up and he does his move, he just beat him. So you can't get mad on another guy just beating a guy. It's like a knockout punch. What's to get mad about? He just knocked him out. And I think Bray, I never understood the gimmick at all. It was kind of off country occult, I guess. But I never really got it. And then when he went out there, he didn't do anything to make the people mad. He never argued with them. And I think when they tried to make them heels, people didn't want them heels. They kind of liked them. So they went against the grain there. Now, what he did for them to stop it, other than it was hard to book to me. I mean, if I was on the booking committee, I'd say, who are we going to book the guy with? Then they split them up and still didn't have them cheat or do anything that would make people see the Miz. You don't like the Miz because he's a little whiny ass little bastard, but it's enough to get him heat. And I mean, you remember the great heels along the way, Bobby Heenan, you kind of like him, but you did want to see somebody put their foot in his butt. But see, Bray Wyatt never did that. To me, I think the gimmick was great. I liked it. And they tried it out in NXT and they said, bring it up. But just because they say bring it up doesn't mean they have a plan to send it forward. I don't think they had any plan for it, to tell you the truth. It didn't seem to me like they did.
I'll give you an example, and you tell me if you think I'm way off. Is Bray Wyatt sort of gave interviews like Raven, very much talked in riddles and a bit circular, but at least with Raven, no matter how far he went off with the point he was making, he would come back to, give like the go-home line of, let's say, who he was fighting and where he was fighting, what the issue was, and it was more clear, at least with Raven. Whereas Bray Wyatt always seemed to be circular riddles with no real point, almost like Ultimate Warrior, in the sense he was just saying crazy things for the sake of crazy things, even though the delivery was great.
You can't make wrestling fans think too much. It's like anything else. If you're reading a novel and you're trying to say, I don't get this, if they don't get it, they don't get it. And Bray, even though he never came back to it, you still see, he could talk for three. I said it while I was there. I told Jack, I was going down, I said, Bray Wyatt, believe me, he talks for 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever he talks. And when he finishes, you look over at your friend and you say, what the hell did he say? You didn't remember. As soon as he said it, it was gone. It was in the atmosphere. It didn't make sense and it didn't resonate on you. But a guy says, it comes out and says, I'm going to beat the living crap out of you, blah, blah. At least he said something. At least you understood it. To me, wrestling fans, don't make them think, or anything else, TV shows, anything. Don't make them think unless you send them that one message that you want them to think about. Another guy shows up just to watch the match and doesn't say anything. Well, that's much better than what Bray Wyatt said, because now he's making a statement just by being there. And now you can look forward to that match. But Bray never made sense to me at all. Raven kind of did, but I think Raven was a different type gimmick. I never really got him either. But I think he would sit in the corner, and I thought it was a great gimmick. He'd sit in the corner, say the Raven or whatever he said, but he made more sense than Bray Wyatt did. And the other two guys never said anything, so they were just there.